Hello, and welcome to this episode. It's been a while. Sorry about that. But we're here, and once again, we are down one person today. But this time, it's not as the same as last time. This time, it's just me and Jerrod. So, yeah, you're not going to say anything? If I say your name, that's like the part where you're supposed to be like, hello, or something.
Hi.
If you stayed quiet through the whole thing, I was just gonna be like, he's here, trust me, believe it. It's like, it's just, you have to like, it's like, so what do you think of that? Nods indistinctly. Anyway, yeah, Josh is not here today, so whatever. We should probably like make fun of him or something, but we're probably not going to do that.
Mac lover.
Yeah, really, he does like Mac too much. We're both PC. Anyway, yeah, before we get going, I just wanted to thank all our, fans and subscribers, those of you who have subscribed thus far, and those who haven't, you should probably subscribe too. Yeah, the people who have, that's great. And if there's anything, lately we've been talking a lot about new stuff that's coming out, new video games, but we don't just talk about new stuff and review it. We talk about all kinds of stuff, but since there's been a lot of new stuff coming out, like Wii U and all that stuff, E3 just happened, and we've been talking about a lot of new stuff. But if there's anything we haven't talked about that you'd like to hear us talk about or weigh in on or hear our reviews of, let us know. Give us suggestions. You can, place it in the comments of something you'd like to just hear us talk about or make fun of or just generally be crazy about. And trust me, the guy who's with me today is quite good at being crazy about stuff.
Yes!
Yes! So I wanted to bring up, and I know Jerrod does too, that a while ago, when they first announced Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, they said it was going to have new features, and it would be like a completely different game. We both said we didn't believe that, and we thought it would be kind of like the difference between Platinum and Diamond and Pearl, where they just add a few new characters and a little dumb story.
Yeah.
But it's looking now more and more like it really is true. This game does look like a brand new game. It actually does appear to be a sequel to it in a lot of ways. Like, you're not even playing as the original main characters. Like, you're playing as like successors to them, and the original guys kind of show up in various places.
Me,
well, it's like, I think they're supposed, it's like some time has passed, like in that little animated short, which was really awesome. They have like, what's her name, Bianca, as now the assistant.
Yeah,
like she's finally, she's growing up or something. And yes, we know. And troll face. But anyway, so am I gonna have to describe your emotions through this whole thing? It's gonna be like, well, yes, he looked over at me with a very peculiar expression. I tried to ascertain what he meant, but I just wasn't able to. What are you saying? I asked in a quizzical voice. He looked at me and nodded. He nodded in a sense that, as if I should understand. This is starting to sound like Metro and Other M dialogue.
blah,
the
blah,
baby.
Blah, the baby.
But no, anyway, so yeah, Bianca is now, assistant. It looks like Charon and some of the other guys show up to help you out. So it's like the same game, but it's like it is a little different. I'm interested to see how much time has actually supposedly passed between the two ones.
What I didn't understand was, though, in the original, I know that I think N releases one of the dragons in the first
Doesn't
one.
he just kind of fly off with it?
Well, yeah, he flies off with it, but then...
A really fun cinema, by the way. I like how it's like...
So it's the thing is, he doesn't... Is it that he doesn't catch it again, and then he releases it, or it gets taken away? Because I remember something about it. I was watching a Japanese walkthrough. I mean, I don't really want to spoil it, so you can just fast forward through this part if you don't want to hear that.
You're the Pokemon Black and White 1, right?
No, I'm talking about 2 now.
Oh, 2, okay.
Yeah. In 2, you get to catch the other opposite. But what I'm really trying to get at here is, does that mean that the hero of the last game released their own legendary dragon type? Yeah, because
I'm sure they'll address that.
Yeah, will that be covered in the story? Because if you think about it, if let's say you had Zekrom and you're black, and then you buy or Reshiram since it's black, and then you get Black 2, and you can catch Reshiram. So where does the original player tie into that now? Because there's not 2 of them. So.
Right. Well, probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's one of those. Some of those legendaries, there's multiple versions of them.
Yeah, you think about Regigigas, how it appears in.
Well, I mean, even in Pokemon the 4th movie, there was multiple Celebes.
Yeah.
Although some people said that was the same Celebi, just over different time frames, but I don't think that was it. It's there's multiple Celebes. This is horribly nerdy speculation right now, and I'm starting to feel like I should have to go kill myself. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm sure they'll address that, or maybe they won't, and we can just hand wave it as it's a video game. Anyway, you're also wanted to talk about the new assist, the assist and challenge keys?
Yeah, that's, I mean, for someone like me, that's kind of aggravating in a way, because I would enjoy having challenge mode for both and assist mode for both. Because if I really wanted to play easy mode, I wouldn't have to buy a specific version. Although the chances of me playing easy mode is pretty low, since I've been playing, Pokemon since Red version, since it came out.
Right.
So it's
we both have.
Yeah, we both have. So I mean, we're good enough at the game and know a lot about it that we just want to go straight to a harder challenge. We don't want an easy challenge, because for veteran, I think for most veteran players, that's just going to be pretty much pointless. So why is it that we have to get a specific version for the challenge key? And I was thinking how since the challenge key is in a Black 2, I believe, then no one's going to really want to get White 2 if they want to solely get the challenge key and want a harder challenge. And I was watching one of the walkthroughs for Black 2, one of the after post Elite Four battles with one of the special trainers, and in challenge mode it looks really fun. And I couldn't see how, if I was playing that in assist mode, how that'd be fun, because if it's on easy, then I already have no problems with the AI players in the first Black and White. Yeah. So if it's going to be easier, it's going to be even less of a challenge. So I don't see why they made it so the challenge key is only in one version. I think that's kind of weird.
It's a very Japanese video game move. Yeah. They do that sometimes. I
guess that has to do with that yin yang business, maybe.
Maybe
and splitting it up.
Maybe, but also, I mean, I've seen that. The only thing that immediately comes to mind is like in Sonic Heroes, like how the different teams were like different difficulties. Like Dark was the hardest, and then Rose was the easiest. And they said like usually it's like in the manual, it's like Team Rose is great for young players. The levels are shorter and it's easier. It's like, honestly, you know what actually made... the only thing Team Rose was really good for in that game was getting all the Chaos Emeralds. Because the levels are shorter, it's easier to get to the bonus stage where you can get the Chaos Emeralds. That's how I got all of them in that game, just playing on Team Rose. But yeah, it reminds me of that. It seems like a very just make it too simple for people. They're also trying to make it easier, like there's a whole Wii thing where they want to make it like open to everybody. For all we know, it could be a marketing thing. They just want to see how many people are veteran players. But yeah, I think it's a very Japanese style game thing to just like, here's the 2 versions, you get to choose.
Well, I mean, if they really wanted to know how many veteran players are playing Pokemon, they could do a poll on the Nintendo website or wherever. Or
yeah, Nintendo never does polls.
Yeah, and I was thinking they could just do a poll for that, and I'm pretty sure that if they make it moderately public, that a lot of people are going to know about it.
They just want to secretly steal the data. It'll make them feel better. They just want to secretly steal the data from like the global link or stuff. They want to be like Google,
Yeah.
Hey, but don't tell YouTube that, okay? Anyway, but it's funny too. There's it could very well be just how they're really trying to make these games different as well. Like how there's actual difference between the 2 versions. I think they're just trying to really hammer that in. That's probably what it is.
Well, I mean, I think the city, like how they had in Black 1 and White 1, how they had the Black City and White Forest, and then you have Reshiram in one game and Zekrom in another game. I thought that was difference enough. And with the moderate things like the traded Pokemon in game are different.
Right.
To get the exclusives from the other game and the different wild Pokemon.
Yeah, I didn't feel it was really necessary to have a huge difference between the games.
I thought the city and the forest thing was nice, and then that was all they had to go.
It made very little difference to me one way or another. Like I always buy Pokemon games really just based on what color I like best. It's just like I bought Gold because I like the way Gold sounded better than Silver, and I like the picture. I like the way Ho-Oh looked over Lugia. So it's like I've always just made very not logical choices on it, just very emotional.
Well, if you think about it, you get in Gold, you get Ho before the Elite Four.
That's true.
And it's actually really good on
logical sounds like another Spock thing.
Well, I mean it's good on the first 2, moderately good on the 3rd and 4th, and decent on Lance. because
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because of all the types of moves it can learn.
Right.
And since fire beats out the bug, and it can also learn psychic, so Koga gets killed off.
Right.
And then what's his name? Will uses psychic and ice and grass. I think he had Jinx on his team. So you have fire, and then you have, which kills off his executor and his other thing, and then you could just use a filler move for the other psychics, and then his fighting Bruno's fighting types, you could just use a flying move, and then for that other, what's her name? The dark.
Oh, Karen.
Yeah, Karen. You could just use the other filler moves, or like Ancient Power or something.
Right. Yeah.
And then when you get to the Lance, who is Dragonite and Gyarados and stuff, you can just use Ancient Power or Thunderbolt or whatever filler move you put in there, and then you're set. Lugia is more of a defensive Pokemon if you look at its stats, so it'd be a lot harder if you're using Silver. If you think about it, trying to do a run through. So.
Right. So and it's getting closer to the release of Black 2 and White 2, and they're finally starting to talk about Genesect now.
Yeah, which
we were talking earlier. Finally, one of the few Pokemon that can actually break a Master Ball technically.
Legitimately. That's like actual code that they meant to put in the game.
Not a glitch Pokemon.
Yeah, not like a glitch like in Gold where you threw a Master Ball at a question thing.
Yeah.
And then it popped out, and then it fled, and your game died.
Right, but in this case, the catch rate of a full HP Genesect. Thank you. I'm blanking out here. A full HP Genesect's catch rate will actually break a Master Ball it's like a 1% or less than 1% chance. But
so if you find it in the wild, make sure to Thunder Wave it, burn it, so that you don't have that
burn it to a crisp.
Yeah, so you don't have that misfortune of throwing a Master Ball at it and it popping out.
It's a less than 1%. It's a 1% or less chance, but because there's so many people playing Pokemon, it's going to happen to some little kid. He's just going to be like, oh boy, and throw a Master Ball or something like that at it right away as soon as he sees it. If you get a chance to throw a ball at it, it's like, and it's going to break out, and he's going to be like, what? Like I said, if that happened to me, I'm just going to turn off my game. It's like, just turn off.
I kind of like that aspect in Red and Blue, though, how if you threw a regular Pokeball at Mewtwo, I think it would block the ball or something. It would give you a message. Yeah. Huh. For like certain balls, like you just couldn't catch Mewtwo with it.
Really?
Yeah, I think you would have to use a great or Ultra Ball or higher.
Actually, that sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, I remember like throwing a Pokeball at one. It was like Mewtwo blocked the ball or something.
Right, because he's kind of humanoid. Just like the trainers can block the ball.
Yeah, so you have to use like I kind of like that certain degree. Like
creepy.
If you actually if they brought that back in the game and you're like battling a really rare Pokemon and you throw a Pokeball and it doesn't let you catch it, like it blocks the ball. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah,
I kind of enjoy that. How it's like, I really have to use it. I have to.
That would happen in the cartoons sometimes too, like Mankey or something like deflected balls or something. It should definitely happen with Genesect. You should like swat it away, like back off.
Or it's like
come on.
It's like Genesect, cut the Pokeball in half.
It does look crazy like that.
Use X scissor.
Like those anime things where it gets cut in half and then explodes a second later.
And Genesect's like walking towards it, just like.
It's like, oh shoot, time to pull out the machine guns.
And I actually like that move.
Wouldn't be Pokemon anymore, but it'd be funny.
Well, I mean, Genesect is probably
you're
farthest away from a Pokemon.
Yeah, really. That's true.
Yeah,
they're getting out there.
Well, I mean, you can make a case for pretty much anything else, not really being like close to a creature of some sort. But I mean, Genesect was originally some prehistoric bug that got altered by Team Rocket.
Team Plasma.
Team Plasma? It was Team Plasma?
Was it Plasma? I thought it was Plasma.
It might be.
Who cares?
But that begs to differ then. How did Team Plasma get Genesect in the first place? Is that going to be added in when they finally
sure it'll go in the anime somewhere.
Well, I mean, I would rather it be in the game.
Because
if they release Genesect in like US and Japan and everything, and it's like in the game, then I would like to like go into like a plasma hideout and then find it in like a tube or something, and then it breaks out.
What were you saying?
But well, I mean, I was thinking about how like it would be cool if I was in like a plasma hideout and then I go in to get Genesect, and then it like bursts out of the test tube, since they modified it, and then you battle it or something.
Okay, well we know that's not going to happen. Yeah. So
a Techno Buster.
They'll probably be one of those things they just shove in right at the end as a download off of Wi-Fi because it's too close to the release of Black and White 2, and they'll just almost forget about it like everything else, or they might include it with Black and White 2. Who knows? But we'll probably get screwed over in America. Okay, so there was some other stuff I was going to talk about, like does the Wii U have Blu-ray on it, which is something I wonder and kind of half want, but since we're almost out of time, and Josh isn't here. That's a better conversation to have with him here. So we'll all just have to be left wondering at that for a while. So anyway, that'll do it for us. And rate, comment, subscribe.
See you next time.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see you then. All right, bye.